is diminishing and at a very fast rate. Mr. Speaker, it is difficult to stop the rate at which the forest cover is going, because we live in a country, Mr. Speaker, where if we want to build, the forest suffers. If we want to construct roads, the forest suffers. If we want to mine, they say, if we want to farm, to provide food for ourselves, the forest suffers. So it's a difficult situation to deal with. Mr. Speaker, when the state or the country decided to put some forests under reservation, the population at the time was very, very small or low. And therefore, a large chunk of our forest was put under reservation and leaving a very big size for farming purposes. That is what is called the off-reserve areas. And it would contain us. We were dependent on the off-reserve areas for most of our things without thinking of touching the forest reserve. In fact, at the time, if anybody wanted to enter the forest, that person needed to take a permit from the forestry officer around to be able to access the forest, even to collect leaves. And they helped the Forestry Commission to protect and manage the reserves for us. Mr. Speaker, today, the communities along these forests, which were villages, have become urban towns. The off-reserve area that they were dependent on can no longer support them, but they must eat. So what they do is that they encroach on the forest reserve. So, like it happens in any part of the world, when your forest is dwindling, what you do is that because it's a renewable natural resource, you go into tree planting. And that should be the focus. Mr. Speaker, everybody in this chamber supports tree planting. Every government that has ever been in this country has come with one program or the other to plant trees to enrich the forest. But what do we see? In 2010, when I had the privilege of serving this country as the Minister for Land and Natural Resources, I also made a similar statement in this chamber. And my colleagues have equally made same statements or similar statements. But the forests keep going down. So the only way is to plant. If we make a conscious effort to plant, we'll have our forest back. Otherwise, let's forget about it. Mr. Speaker, every year during budget, we provide sums of monies to support plantation development in the country. At the end of the year, during the review, you realize that if 10 cities was allocated for plantation development, the maximum released for tree planting will be like four cities. So we speak passionately about tree planting, but the effort to ensure tree planting, we are sluggish. The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, if you ask him to complain, he'll complain and complain and complain of resources. And if you take on timeout. So,
Honourable Member, 1 minute more.
Okay, Mr. Speaker. So we all need to focus. We all need to focus on how we can provide money, enough money, for the minister to be able to do tree planting. Let's prioritize tree planting. Let's prioritize plantation development. If we have forest, the benefits are enormous, particularly in this area where our youth are looking for jobs. Plantation development can provide a lot of opportunities for our youth. So the Minister of Finance has to be spoken to, so that in November, in the budget, it should provide a huge sum of money for the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources to embark on plantation.
Yes. Yes, Honourable Amprachum.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to contribute to the discussion on the table, special reference to the statement that was made by the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources and Acting Minister for Environment, Science and Technology. I was with the Minister this morning when we went to the Achimota Forest to celebrate the day. And I was extremely happy because I'm somebody who loves nature, somebody who loves the forest, and somebody who loves the greenery. Where I come from, where my constituency is the transition between the savannah and the forest belt. When I was growing up, a greater part of the constituency was forest. Now, 50 years down the line, there's been a big change. Savannah is seriously encroaching on the forest areas in my constituency. And I have seen the devastating effect that it has brought to bear on the constituency landscape and on the constituents. So it's good that we have a day like this where we celebrate and then we encourage the citizenry to join in preserving nature, in preserving the trees, and in preserving the greens. The forest, as we all know, is of great importance to all of us. Principally, through trees and through the green, we get our oxygen. And oxygen is life. So when we link the tree with life, we are linking the tree with the provision of oxygen. If we maintain our forests and the trees, we are also fighting climate change. And we all know the devastating effect that climate change has had on mankind and on our lives and in our future. Promoting it also gives support to biodiversity and plants and animals activities, which again is of great importance to our living as human beings. At the same time, when we have the greenery and we have the trees, it protects our rivers. It gives shades and it helps the rivers from drying up very fast. And we all know the importance of the rivers. Apart from the forest providing us with food, medicine, helping with our livelihood. In Ghana, there has been serious attack on the forest, and that is where my concern is. The river bodies. What is happening with the river bodies? The attack of Galamsey. What is happening in our forest reserves? The attack of the Galamseyers, of the illegal miners. It becomes so important that with the advent of Galamsey and the activities of small-scale mining or illegal small-scale mining, our environment is under attack. Our tomorrow is under attack. Our rivers are under attack. It's my prayer that this government, and especially the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources and Environment, will pay serious and particular attention in addressing the attacks that are happening in our forest reserves. There is no point paying lip service that we are working on it, we are coming up with innovative and creative ideas when nothing really is happening. But everything seems to be going down. My good friend, the minister, is somebody I like on the other side. It's unfortunate that during his time as the minister, his constituency had become the headquarters of Galamsey. Yes. Again. Minister, you are my good friend and I like you. Unfortunately, I am a bit troubled about what is happening in your constituency, Elembele, with special reference to Galamsey. And I have to say it here and then that it become the #1 Galamsey constituency in Ghana. So please, whilst fighting,
Yes, majority side.
Speaker, the comment from the Honorable Amprechum cannot be allowed to. He has to withdraw. It breaches Order 93 Rule 5. He is privileged to comment on the statement made by a member or minister. But in doing so, he must not say things that will provoke debate. He ought not to do that. He ought not to do. He should withdraw, Mr. Speaker, and apologize.
Yes.
Speaker, I checked with Honorable Amprechum, and I'm sure that this is a matter he is willing to prove. And I'm also aware that the same thing is happening in the hometown of the Deputy Minister. And that of the House, just the area of the President.
Yes. Honorable Jerry Ahmed. Honorable Ahmed. Honorable Ahmed. Honorable Ahmed.
Speaker,
the statement he made is to the effect that the minister's constituency is the headquarters.
Let's not belabor. I'm saying that I have withdrawn. But I want to give you, in reference to the point I made, I have withdrawn. But let me quote what
Honorable Jerry Ahmed, with all due respect, I give you the opportunity to comment on the statement you have decided to yield.
Speaker, I am in leadership, respectfully. It's a matter that has to do with...
You've agreed 2-2 under leadership.
Yes.
And I've taken 2 from
Speaker,
here. I came to you as a leader. You've decided to yield. So you do not have a right to comment. Your right to comment has been given out. The issue that we can deal with is whether it is a matter of fact that the constituency of the minister responsible for lands and natural resources is the headquarters for Galamsey. If not, Honorable Amprachum, I will urge on you to have that statement withdrawn.
Speaker, so let me take the step.
Honorable Jerry Ahmed, you are not the maker of that statement.
Mr. Speaker, before I come to the substantive advice that you've given me, let me just make a small comment about it. Mr. Speaker, the Ankobra River.
Honorable Amprachum, I give you the opportunity to do the needful. We are all members of parliament. We should be guided as to how we speak against each other regarding issues of our constituency.
Mr. Speaker, let me modify my statement. I could see.
Honourable members, with all due respect to the statement made by Amprachum that the constituency of the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources is the headquarters for Galamsey, is accordingly ordered to be expunged from the record as if it does not exist. Honourable members, we are all members of parliament. We should be courteous as to how we speak against each other.
Okay.
The statement is expunged.
Oh,
yes.
So I don't need to withdraw, but you first expunged it.
Yes. Yes, majority leadership. The statement is expunged, is no longer in the record.
Name.
So how will you be responding to what is no longer in the record?
I want to educate him on Ankobra River. 93 kilometers river. I want to show him.
Honorable Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, the statement is expunged and it does not exist.
Speaker, I yield road to the Honorable Deputy Minister.
Yes, Honorable Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources.
Mr. Speaker, I'm very grateful for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, first of all, let me thank the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources for being a very responsible minister. He's come here this afternoon to remind us of a very important global activity. And so we need to eulogize him for that stewardship. Mr. Speaker, the theme for this year's International Day of Forest is forest and economy. And many relevant points have been made in terms of its economic benefits, its job creation, and all of that. Mr. Speaker, I have listened to my colleagues, and I think that days like this should be used in providing solutions rather than lamentations and accusations. Mr. Speaker, this is a house of records, and so when we speak, we must come with facts. Mr. Speaker, if there is any government that is noted on record, and I'll make reference to Professor Frimpong Barton's report, if you avert your mind to that report, those on this side will not have the moral right to even talk on issues of Galamsey. Mr. Speaker, we are in a situation where the MPP administration,
Honorable Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, you are reminded of Standing Order 95, Order 93-5. So you need to make sure that your comment does not generate into a debate.
Mr. Speaker, I'm guided, and thanks for the direction. Mr. Speaker, the John Mahama-led administration inherited a situation where out of about 288 forest reserves, 44 of them were tempted with between the period of His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo.
Please, I admonish you.
Mr. Speaker, I'm giving you records.
5.
Mr. Speaker, I take the clue once again. Mr. Speaker, I'm saying that we inherited a situation where our foreign reserves were tempted with. About 44 of them were tempted with, where we have galamsey activity going on. Out of the 44, Mr. Speaker, 9 of them were completely taken over. This is what we inherited.
I recognize Jerry Ahmed on his feet.
Speaker, still, as per your direction, he is still not listening. Speaker, I come under Order 93.5, and to say that all the comments canvassed by him, the last part of his comments, Speaker, they are not a true reflection of the situation. Speaker, when I said one, you asked me to withdraw. Speaker, if he cannot provide evidence to the effect of what he's saying now, he should have that response, and I apologize. And it's not part of the business statement, Speaker. Yes, it's not part of the minister's statement, Speaker.
Yes, Honorable today you have.
Yes, Speaker, they are
regarded accordingly.
Yes, Speaker, I am saying to you that we have 288 forest reserves, and out of that, what we inherited was that 44 of them were tempted with illegal activities in terms of mining. That's a fact. And this happened between a certain period, and that's a fact. And we are saying that out of the 44, 9 of those forest reserves were no-go area. That's a fact. And this is not the first time we are saying it on this floor. It is found in all instances where the minister has spoken, and it is also found in the State of National Address in 2025. Mr. Speaker, I am saying, Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Sule, your time is going, you still have the floor.
Galamsey and the headquarters of Galamsey, it is very obvious. It is very obvious that you cannot. Mr. Speaker, let me tell you that for the records, there is no single forest reserve in the Bole Bambo constituency that has been destroyed. Let me also put on record that there is no any river body in the Bole Bambo constituency that has been destroyed. And so if we make a statement that galamsey activities is taking place in the Bole Bambo constituency and that should be an issue, let us avert our minds to the eastern region. Let us avert our minds to the Asante region. Let us avert our minds to the western region. These are areas where rivers have been tempted, and these are areas where we are concentrating in ensuring that all these rivers that have been tempted, we are able to work to bring them to life. I thought that we should have been asking ourselves, as members of parliament, how many trees have you planted in a year? How many trees have you encouraged somebody to plant? These are the things that we should be talking about, rather than lamenting.
Honourable members, we have gradually come to an end of that statement. There is another statement on the essence of Eid al-Fitr to the peaceful coexistence and development in Ghana. Unfortunately, the maker of the statement is here. Is Honorable Baba Jamal Mohammed, MP Isaiah also constituency. You have the floor. Yes. Yes. Initially, I thought the name would be in the head note, but I rather put the name down.
Mr. Speaker, I humbly rise to make a statement on the essence of the celebration of Eid al-Fitr by the Muslim community in Ghana and the world at large. But permit me to greet you with the Islamic greetings, Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto this house. Today marks the last day of 30 days of fasting by Muslims worldwide, including our Muslim compatriots in Ghana. It has been a period of self-denial of food and worldly pleasures by Muslims, myself inclusive. Mr. Speaker, after fasting over the period of 30 days, Allah has ordained Eid al-Fitr for all Muslims for merrymaking, brotherly love, and total submission to the will of Almighty Allah. In Ghana, the celebrations of this festival starts tomorrow with massive prayers in all Muslim communities across Ghana, especially in the Zongos where we have large concentrations of Muslims. With the national celebrations and prayers at Independence Square to be led by the National Chief Imam, Dr. Sheikh Nur Sharbutu. The essence of this festival is to bring families and friends together as Islam teaches us to ensure every member of the community, be they Muslims or not, to be happy, well catered for, and shown love. This celebration teaches us peaceful coexistence and tolerance, which are essential tools for national development. It teaches Muslims to reach out to other people in their neighborhood and make peace with all mankind. Mr. Speaker, as Muslims celebrate Eid al-Fitr, the lessons learned during the fasting period must reflect in our daily lives as Ghanaians. The spirit of Eid al-Fitr is love for one another. Let all Ghanaians, not only Muslims, be our brother's keeper. One of the famous sayings of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, found in Al-Shaykh Buhari is, Mr. Speaker, I quote in Arabic, La yu'minu ahadukum hatta yuhibbu li ahi ma yuhibbu li nafsi. Translated, none of you is a true believer of Islam unless you desire for your brother or sister what you desire for yourself. Therefore, none of you is a true believer of Islam unless you desire for your brother or sister what you desire for yourself. Therefore, a Muslim is a true believer of Islam only and when he desires for another person, Muslim or non-Muslim, what he desires for he or herself. As celebrated worldwide in Ghana, the festival is marked with cultural display of chiefs and people of different tribal and ethnic backgrounds, especially in the Zongos and in Nima City in particular. Different tribal groups led by their various chiefs organize processions on the streets to thank Allah for his mercies throughout the year. It is a great thing to witness this procession nicknamed Kashika Shika, shake and dance, on the streets of Nima. And I take this opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to invite all Ghanaians to witness this special procession on the street of Nima this year on the day of Eid al-Fitr, which is tomorrow. Mr. Speaker, another significant aspect of the celebration of Eid al-Fitr is that it brings families and tribes together to appreciate each other, and to live in peace. Almighty Allah states in the Holy Quran, chapter 49, verse 13, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Ya ayyuhan nas, inna khalaqnakum min zakar wal unsa, وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا إِنَّ الْأَكْرَمَكُمْ عِندَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ, which translates, O humanity, indeed we created you from a male and a female and made you into peoples and tribes so that you may get to know one another. Surely the most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous among you. Allah is truly all-knowing and aware. So in Islam, tribes are for the purposes of identification and cultural unity, but not division among mankind. So the celebration of Eid al-Fitr offers us the opportunity to come together as one people in different tribes. That spirit of unity in diversity is what has kept together Zongo people and Muslims in general for many, many years. Mr. Speaker, by the kind courtesy of President Mahama and his government and the approval of this August House, Muslims in Ghana, and for that matter, all Ghanaians, enjoy 2 holy days on the occasion of Eid al-Fitr, which we are very grateful as Muslims. This allows Muslims to celebrate the festival in peace and joyful mood. It allows families to come together to spend time together. Tribes and groups come together to celebrate their culture and heritage. It brings joy and great times to Muslims and Ghanaians as a whole, and this brings out the true Ghanaian religious mix and tolerance that sets us aside from other countries in the world. Mr. Speaker, permit me to use this opportunity to admonish all and sundry who, out of ignorance of our history as a country, erroneously see people living in our Zongos and largely Muslim communities as aliens and foreigners, to reorient themselves and see all persons irrespective of their tribe, religion, creed, or name as Ghanaians once they satisfy the constitutional criteria of Republic of Ghana. Let all Ghanaians know that it is not the tribe of a person or his religion, creed, or name that makes him a Ghanaian, but it is the laws of Ghana that makes a person a Ghanaian. Finally, Mr. Speaker, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ admonished all Muslims to be generous on the day of Eid al-Fitr. Muslims must be tolerant and peaceful makers, patriotic and serve their country, in this case Ghana, with all their heart. We as Muslims and indeed all Ghanaians must understand that rights go with responsibilities, and we must all be law-abiding as dictated by the celebration of Eid al-Fitr. Muslims must live with other people from other religions in peace and harmony. They must sing the praises of Almighty Allah from dawn to dusk on Eid day. We must pray for the continuous blessings of peace in our country, even as we celebrate Eid al-Fitr. I wish all Ghanaians a happy Eid al-Fitr and blessed New Year. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, Honorable Patrick Yaoboma, then I'll come to Haji Aladi.
If we don't have the Chief Imam here, of course. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And let me thank the Honorable Member of Parliament for Ayawasu East for this very important statement before the celebration of this very important celebrations come tomorrow, inshallah. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to use this opportunity to wish the National Chief Imam, Sheikh Dr. Anu Sharabutu, my constituent, my father, and someone the whole country loves and adore. And also Sheikh Umar of Abeka, who leads the Al-Sunnah sect of this country. Mr. Speaker, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam preaches peace, love for one another, and to be very modest during this celebration, Mr. Speaker. It is for a reason that for some time now, the Ramadan period has coincided with the Lent period by the Christians. It is very, very important for us to know and appreciate as a country that we should live together as one people, love one another, celebrate Christmas, celebrate Easter, celebrate Ramadan or Salah together in peace, in oneness, and ensure that we all achieve the goals of this country as brothers. Mr. Speaker, on this auspicious day and on this very important day, a statement ably made by the Member of Parliament for Ayawasu East, his maiden statement on his election. Let me say a big thank you to all the Muslim communities in and around New Fadama, Abeka, Apenkwa, and the whole country. And to the leader of the House, who is a Muslim, I wish him and the Muslim brothers and sisters in the chamber a happy Salah. May Allah bless us all. Thank you very much.
Honorable Hajaladi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to comment on the statement ably made by my brother, Honorable Baba Jamal, on the Eid al-Fitr. Mr. Speaker, Eid al-Fitr is a celebration by the Muslim Ummah. After a 29 or 30-day fast, Mr. Speaker, many a time we observe this fasting from morning, that is before 6 a.m., when we take sahur. Those who really eat, some of us do not eat in the morning, we observe the fast until evening, and that is after 6 p.m. This is done for either 29 or 30 days, which is accepted by the Almighty Allah. Mr. Speaker, during the fast in the day, we neither eat nor drink, and neither do you have to get into any nocturnal activities, married or unmarried, and you try as much as you can to abstain from anything that would destroy your fast. Mr. Speaker, during the fast, you are supposed to be more peaceful than ever, prayerful, asking for forgiveness, not for yourself alone, for everyone, because at least you have your children, you have your grandchildren, you have relatives, you even have your colleagues and associates. Mr. Speaker, prayer is very important when we are observing our fast. Mr. Speaker, under the circumstance, women that are still menstruating do not observe the fast, but they are supposed to fast and pay for the number of days that they would have menstruated. So those that would menstruate maybe 4 days, 1 week, 10 days, they will have to pay after that because they are not allowed to fast. Mr. Speaker, people who are not well, Muslims for that matter, who are not well, will not fast. And when we say those who are not well, it depends. Those who are not well just for a period would have to repay when they are well. But for those that are so unwell or unhealthy or are ill that they cannot fast at all, they have to pay by offering some quantities of food to especially the poor and needy. Mr. Speaker, those who are so seriously sick and cannot afford to offer anything are not obligated to pay anything once they don't have it. Mr. Speaker, the Islamic religion, and for that matter, we Muslims are enjoined not to segregate, discriminate, judge, or try in any way to malign anybody, because we are not the Almighty Allah. We do not judge, and we cannot tell. We cannot judge anybody because of religion, because of ethnicity, tribe, race, male or female, and that is gender. Mr. Speaker, with this, the religion encompasses everyone to accept every individual as he or she is. And when we are praying, we pray for everybody. Mr. Speaker, with the celebration, which most of us, especially in Ghana, will be undertaking tomorrow, Muslims are supposed to congregate at various places to say the Eid prayer. For those who are not able to go, Mr. Speaker, it doesn't mean that if you don't go to the Eid grounds, you cannot pray your 2 rakats at home. You should pray or say your 2 rakats at home. Mr. Speaker, whatever you may have tomorrow to celebrate,
Honourable Member, your time is up. Yes, you have the floor.
yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I commend the Honorable Baba Jamal Ahmed, Baba Jamal Mohammed Ahmed, until recently, no, His Excellency, for making such an insightful statement. Mr. Speaker, there couldn't have been a better time for such a statement, inspiring unity among the people of this republic. Mr. Speaker, particularly because he himself has been a victim of circumstance, and for that reason he's in a position to preach about unity. And so I commend him for preaching unity in this country. And what I even found very thought-provoking, very insightful, Mr. Speaker, is the last sentence of the 3rd paragraph of his statement. Mr. Speaker, with your liberty, I quote, "None of you is a true believer of Islam unless you desire for your brother or sister what you desire for yourself." It is very, very instructive. It is useful learning that we don't wish for others what we don't wish for ourselves. And so, Mr. Speaker, but why? Mr. Speaker, and so we must all learn from this. We must all learn from this. We should wish for others the good we wish for ourselves, and pray to avert the evil we don't wish for ourselves. The Eid Mr. Speaker, in my humble view, for instance, is very happy. It's a very good moment for me because my constituency has a very significant Muslim population. The Efiakobi electoral area, which is popularly called Alaba. Mr. Speaker, I wish all the Muslims in my constituency happy Eid. At this point, I would also want to pray that all those who lost their lives in the course of the fasting, may the good Lord receive them into the bosom of Abraham. In my constituency, on a fine Sunday, I decided to break the fast with some of my Muslim friends at Efiakobi electoral area.
It's not me.
One of the gentlemen, a polling station chairman, and a unit committee member, a very good friend of mine, who was part of the event that day. Unfortunately, the next dawn, were informed of his demise. That is very, very unfortunate, Mr. Speaker. His name is Sadiq Abubakar, and I pray that the good Lord, Mr. Speaker, keep his soul in the bosom of Abraham. In conclusion, another part of his statement that, Mr. Speaker, I find very interesting. Very, very interesting, Mr. Speaker, has to do with, oh humanity, indeed, we created you from a male and female and made you into peoples and tribes so that you may get to know one another. Let's get to know one another and be united, irrespective of political divide and where we stand, even within our own political party. Let's love one another and not be antagonistic and form committees and sign letters against people. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Suleiman.
Mr. Speaker, I'm very grateful. Mr. Speaker, let me welcome my brother with the very words that he has used in welcoming us. So I say, Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu, ya ahi. Meaning, the same way he has asked for peace and bless, Allah's peace and blessings be upon us, is the same way I'm asking that Allah's blessings and peace be upon the Prophet. Mr. Speaker, this statement is well researched. This statement touches the very important ingredients that are supposed to be touched in matters like this. Mr. Speaker, Eid al-Fitr marks the end of the month of Ramadan. And so it is a period where all Muslims will come together to celebrate and commemorate the 29 or 30 days that they have fasted. Indeed, it's a period for us to show love to each other and beyond. It is a period where we have to give out what we call Zakat al-Fitr. Zakat al-Fitr is a special sadaqah or zakah, let me put it like with zakah, that we give to our neighbors. It should be a day where everybody around you will celebrate. It should be a day where when you are eating, nobody should sit hunger. It is a day that we have to show love. And that is why I'm very happy, my brother, that you mentioned the appropriate Quranic verses. In Quran chapter 49 verse 13, Ya ayyuhallazina ya ayyuhannas inna khalaqnakum min zakarin wa unsa wa ja'alnakum shu'uban wa qaba'ila inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. Oh mankind, we have created you from a male and a female and we have put you into tribes and nations. The essence of that is for you to be able to identify yourself, is for you to be able to know yourself. This is very important for us today in Ghana. Let us don't allow religion to divide us. We should not allow politics to divide us. After all, when it comes to religion, the Quran says that lakum dinukum waliyadin, unto your religion and unto me my religion. The person who will judge is Allah. Again, the Quran says that la nufariqu baina adam min rusulihi. Do not bring about separation. Do not bring about distinction amongst my prophet. So all Muslims believe in Jesus Christ. And so we are not supposed to bring about any division between him and his followers and that of the Prophet Muhammad and his followers. It's very important for us. And we expect all of us to come together and show love. After all, the person who judges is Allah. And so I want to use this platform to call on all Muslims who are celebrating this Eid tomorrow to do it with humility. A situation where you see our brothers riding on motorbikes over celebrating it should be a thing of the past. This is a day to show love. This is a day to share what you have. I don't expect to see our brothers riding bicycles, riding motorbikes in a way and manner that will not bring peace. I use this opportunity on behalf of the Muslim caucus of Parliament to wish all Muslims in Ghana and in particular in my constituency, Eid Mubarak. May the Almighty Allah give us the blessings of the man that we have observed. May the blessings attach or be attached to all of us, whether a Muslim or a Christian. May the Almighty Allah bless our president, bless our speaker, bless the legislature, bless everybody in this country, so that at the end of the day, we will be able to develop a nation that others will admire. With this, I say, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. May Allah's peace and blessings be upon all of you.
Yes, minority leadership. Minority leadership.
Speaker, thank you very much for this opportunity. Speaker, let me particularly commend the former High Commissioner to Nigeria, His Excellency Alhaji Baba Jamal, the friend of the minority. Yeah. Speaker, against the backdrop that Ghana is practicing religious pluralism and that we have the chief imam who is also very close to Reverend Father Campbell in my constituency. Speaker, I am a proud Ghanaian. Speaker, Baba Jamal made some very important submissions, and it behoves on us, and me in particular, to call on him, to let him understand that during this fasting period, there was one thing we asked for, that our sins be forgiven. Speaker, that he asked that we should create in us, Allah should create in us a clean heart, renew our spirits, and forgive our sins and the sins of other members. Speaker, I am making a personal and passionate appeal to Honorable Alhaji Baba Jamal that he should forgive the regional majority caucus members, the chairpersons, the 16 chairpersons that wrote the letter asking for his disqualification. Baba Jamal, may Allah touch your heart to forgive each and every member of the regional caucus, and they are all majority caucus, led by the majority leader, for rejecting you.
Baba, forgive them.
In fact, forgive Jubilee House too for coming against you Baba Jamal, let me refer to your own
Honorable Jerry Ahmed. Sometimes I believe strongly you do certain things deliberately, because I will not doubt your knowledge of the rules. So I will recognize Honorable Roxanne Nelson Eche Dapamoko.
Speaker, the Honorable Second Deputy Minority Whip, my brother, is on his feet saying very unparliamentary things. Speaker, the things he has said against the regional caucus chairpersons of the majority side and the majority leader, they are most unparliamentary. They cannot stay in our records. He needs to withdraw them and apologize. Nobody wrote to reject the Honorable Baba Jamal.
Nobody wrote. Nobody from this side wrote to reject him.
You are not communicating properly. So you will withdraw because the things you have said, they offend under 93 Rule 5. Your comments are provoking debate. And so you will withdraw them. You know what to do. You are a leader of this house.
Speaker, I thank my brother for bringing this to my notice. Speaker, I also ask for forgiveness.
Yes.
That if in my acts or omissions I may have stepped on a toe, I am using this platform and this statement so that they will take me to Privileges Committee. Yeah. Speaker, it is very crucial that we forgive ourselves. And this is the most important or opportune time for us to ask for forgiveness. Speaker, let me refer to Baba Jamal's line that is most critical. And he said, none of you is a true believer of Islam. None of you is a true believer of Islam unless you desire for your brother or sister what you desire for yourself. Simplicity, love your neighbor as yourself. Speaker, this is Baba Jamal. He has been a member of parliament before. He was only praying to come back and join his own colleagues. And all he found was action. Speaker, we are using this platform to ask that let us stay united. Let us forgive ourselves. Let peace reign. Whether you are in NDC or in MPP, whether you are from Mole or Choco, we are all one people. Whether you support one parliamentary candidate or presidential candidate, please let us know that it is for us to remain united. Speaker, let me take this opportunity to wish all Muslims in Wejagbawi, especially the imams in Wejagbawi, and across Ghana and the world, a happy Eid. May God bless us all.
Yeah. Yes, Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Member for Ayawaso East has broken the ice, made his first formal statement on the floor of the House to mark this very important festival in the Islamic calendar. And let me acknowledge the contributions that have been made by colleagues who have already emphasized the importance of the Eid to Muslims and to the rest of humanity. Mr. Speaker, Muslims in this country have made a lot of progress, especially under the government of the National Democratic Congress. Mr. Speaker, in our 2024 electioneering campaign, we promised the Muslim community that if we won the election, we will add one additional public holiday to the Muslim community. Yeah, we have done that. And we have done it. Yeah. And we have done it. So, Mr. Speaker, this Eid, Muslims are going to have cumulatively 4 days in a row. 4 days in a row. Tomorrow, Friday, will be a public holiday. Saturday and Sunday are already holidays. And Monday, they will enjoy a holiday. And the NDC knew very well how Muslims struggle to fast 30 days, especially the last 10 days, when Muslims will stay throughout the night praying, and so it becomes difficult if you give them just one holiday, because they need time to prepare for the Eid. And so, against opposition from people that are known in this chamber, we on this side, weathered the storm and passed the legislation which institutionalized a second holiday for Muslims. Yeah. And we are very proud today that this has come to stay. And we know that Muslims appreciate the National Democratic Congress. Very well. Yes. And that is not all. Muslims are making progress. This year, the Hajj fee is affordable. Yes. It has been reduced. Yes. It has been reduced, and Muslims will enjoy the Hajj better than they did last time. Mr. Speaker, I want to state that no matter what you say of Baba Jama, he will never be a member on your side. No matter what you say. Put an issue before this house and put it to a vote. And no matter what you say, Baba Jama will vote for the NDC. Baba Jama will remain a proud member on this side of the house. Nothing that you will say will convert him to an MPP member. So stop deceiving yourselves. Stop feeling that you can co-opt him, because he will never be an MPP member. He will never vote for MPP. Even when he doesn't have a use for his vote, he will give it to the MPP. So don't waste your time. And as for this side of the house, I can assure you that this side of the house has no issue with Baba Jamal. This side has no issue with Baba Jamal. And the position taken by this side of the house following those incidents are principled positions. And they did not respect individuals. or persons. And that is what Islam teaches everyone. Principle and
Honorable Leader, there is an indication that your time is up.
So, Mr. Speaker, I don't know when we started. I don't know when we started timing leaders. But let me conclude by saying that we thank our colleague for the statement, and to wish all Muslims a happy Eid, to wish all Muslims a happy celebration, but to caution our brothers and sisters that they should celebrate in modesty. The level of excitement that sometimes we see our young people ride bikes, ride horses, and try to celebrate the Eid sometimes can be scary, and in some instances have led to fatalities. We are praying that tomorrow's Eid and all the festivities attending the celebration of the Eid will be done with modesty and having regard to the safety of everyone who is participating in the celebration. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Yeah.
Honourable members, statement time is ended. Majority Leader, any indication?
Speaker, indeed, we want to take item number 9, Mr. Speaker. Number 9. That is the report of the committee.
Yes. Yes. Minority. Speaker, we are finished with item number 8, so yes, we are moving to item number 9.
Speaker, I've seen that, and I can see that the two powerful leaders are engaging, which is a good thing. Speaker, so once we allow them to engage and come back, which is about a minute, Speaker, I think that's the best way to do it.
So, we should just, as a matter of fact, as they are engaging, the actual item is item number 10.
Very well.
This is the procedural one.
Yes, Speaker.
So we can be looking at the procedural pending the outcome of their engagement that will inform us as to whether we should take item number 10
Speaker, that is
or not. Yes, Chairman of the committee. Before then, let me use the opportunity to acknowledge the presence of students from Radiant DA Basic School, led by Richard Dixon, a teacher. They are from Ejumako Enyan, ACM. They numbered 136. We also have Glory Plus Academy, led by Mr. Jacob Mensah, a teacher. They are from Kunkankamansu, and they are 55. Honourable members, on your behalf, I welcome them to Parliament and urge them to have a fruitful visit. Kindly resume your seats. Yes, Chairman of the committee.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move the motion numbered 9, appearing on page 3 of today's order paper. I so move.
members, motion move any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, I would like to second the motion.
Honourable members, motion move and seconded. It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, this is a procedural motion. I will therefore put the question. As many as are in favour say aye. Those against say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Yes, Majority Leader, I saw you engaging.
Speaker, the engagement has been fruitful. Engagement has been fruitful. So, Mr. Speaker, we'll take motion number 10. Motion number 10, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Chairman of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that this House adopts the report of the Committee on Lands and Natural Resources on the mining lease agreement between the government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, and Barari DV Ghana Limited for the mining of lithium and other minerals at Mankesim in the Fantima municipality of the Central Region. I so move. Mr. Speaker,
Doing so, you present the committee's report.
I present your committee's report, and I crave your indulgence to read some parts of the observations and act that the Hazard Department captures as having been fully read. Mr. Speaker, I want to read paragraph 7.7 of the report. Clause 3 of subsection 2 to the mining lease agreement provides that the company shall set aside 1% of annual revenue for community development fund pursuant to a community development agreement that shall be signed with the communities impacted by its operations. The committee thus noted the establishment of the CDF upon ratification of the agreement and the subsequent operationalization of the mining project will bring significant socio-economic benefits to the people of the mining area through investments and infrastructure projects by the fund. Preparatory discussions on the Community Development Fund have already taken place between the communities and the company. A memorandum received from the paramount chiefs of Nkusukum, Mankesim, and Abra traditional areas states the following regarding the Community Development Fund contemplated under the agreement. Our engagements with the community, quote, our engagements with the community have commenced towards this fund, and a framework is in draft. This fund, projected to exceed $6.0 million annually, will bring significant development to the catchment area and the Central Region. We, Nanano, and community leaders at the Community Consultative Committee meeting have proposed using a substantial portion of this fund to stimulate other industries in the catchment area. The fund will also support scholarships for disadvantaged students and the development of health and educational facilities. The memorandum from the paramount chiefs further indicates the following regarding infrastructure development. Though not having started operations, the company has undertaken some local procurement and infrastructure development in our communities, showing its commitment to community development. We are informed that the project would utilize locally made goods and services during construction and production to promote the local economy and build capacity. Thus, Nananum are firmly behind the project due to the potential benefits of the project in terms of infrastructure development, local capacity building, and technology transfer, and generally boosting the local economy of the catchment area. Mr. Speaker, as to what was being done with regards to land access and compensation to project affected persons, the committee was informed that the company and the communities have established a compensation negotiation committee for crop and land and a resettlement negotiation committee for persons due for resettlement as prescribed by the Minerals and Mining Act 2006, Act 703, and the Minerals and Mining Compensation and Resettlement Regulation 2012 LI 2175. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, the committee has critically examined the agreement within the context of the relevant laws on the subject and finds that the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources has complied with the legal requirements necessary for granting mining leases. The committee also finds the mining project to hold a huge potential to bring tremendous benefits to the country and contribute to the socio-economic development of communities in the area. The committee respectfully recommends to the House to adopt this report and ratify by resolution the mining lease agreement between the government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, and Balari DV Ghana Limited, for the mining of lithium and other minerals at Mankesim in the Mfantiman municipality in the Central Region, accordance with Article 2681 of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, motion heavily moved. Report presented. Any seconder? Yes, Honourable Akwasi Konelu.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. I rise to second the report, but in doing so, Mr. Speaker, I would like to place on record that the report is a majority decision.
You second the motion.
Yeah. Mr. Speaker, in seconding the report, I would want to place on record that the report be amended to reflect that is a majority decision.
Honourable members, let's get it right. The motion move is motion number 10.
Yes.
And the motion is to adopt the report. So you second the motion, not seconding the report.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to second motion number 10 on today's order paper. And in doing so, Mr. Speaker, I would like to place on record some corrections that the report should be amended to reflect a majority decision. And also in second, yes, Mr. Speaker, yes. In the conclusion of the report, where it stated that the committee respectfully recommend to the House, that reflects there. Now, Mr. Speaker, in seconding the motion, I would like to speak to the report also with us. Mr. Speaker, first and foremost, I'd like to talk about paragraph 4.0, which is the background to this report. Mr. Speaker, the lithium agreement is not a new agreement to this House. It was presented to us in the 8th Parliament, specifically on 16 July 2024. Mr. Speaker, again, when the 8th Parliament elapsed, it was again brought to us on the 11th of November 2025, when it was reintroduced to this House. But however, on December 10th, 2025, it was reviewed. Mr. Speaker, amidst some reasons that we all are accustomed and known to, and however represented to us again on the 19th of December 2025, which has culminated in this report that, Mr. Speaker, we are talking to. Mr. Speaker, in all of this, it has been a matter one to liaise with maneuvering tactics and a clear incidents for power, but all to the expense of the people on whose lands, Mr. Speaker, this natural resource rests, because they've been deprived of a livelihood for a very long time, Mr. Speaker, and it's important that it's placed on record. We, however, Mr. Speaker, cannot belittle the importance of lithium, Mr. Speaker, to our Ghanaian economy and to the world. The world is moving towards the global decarbonization, which requires that we have green energies to use in our daily activities in this world. So it's important that, Mr. Speaker, once we are blessed with this natural resource, we mine it responsibly and to the benefit of the ordinary Ghanaian and to the state, such that we have clear benefit for it. So, Mr. Speaker, there is nothing wrong about us supporting this document, but however, we want to place that on record. But most importantly, before I sit, Mr. Speaker, on point 7.5, Mr. Speaker, paragraph 7.5, where it talks about royalty payment. Mr. Speaker, royalty payments became a bone of contention, Mr. Speaker, on the matter of lithium agreement, which has reflected, Mr. Speaker, into other natural resources, causing a stir even in gold mining in this country. The reason for this, Mr. Speaker, was a point that was raised about the illegality of some negotiated royalties, which was not a matter of fact. But however, let's place on record that whilst we are trying to cure this, Mr. Speaker, it hasn't been cured, but it must be placed on record that, look, now we have an airline that is trying to regulate a specific provision in our act, Mr. Speaker, and I find that very, very erroneous that we use an airline to cure a specific provision in our act. If need be for us to talk about royalties, Mr. Speaker, therefore I would be of the opinion that that portion of the act, Mr. Speaker, is amended rather than curing it with an airline. However, I know that the mining of lithium will bring about some job creation that is most importantly needed for our, Mr. Speaker, youth in the country. So it's important that whilst we've played all that we can with this, now it is with us, for us, Mr. Speaker, to adopt this report and make sure that we pass this. But however, lastly, Mr. Speaker, local content and participation. Mr. Speaker, this agreement requires in the clause 4, section 2, that the mining company or the parent company list on the Ghana Stock Exchange, which was done in May 30, 2024, such that local participation in our natural resources can be done by everybody in this country, so that anybody who wishes to participate in it can have a share in it by participating in the purchase of it on the Ghana Stock Exchange. Mr. Speaker, in so doing, thank you very much for the opportunity to contribute to this report and the adoption of it. I thank you. Yes, and I support it.
Yes, let me take the Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for this opportunity to contribute to this report and to call on the House to accept the report and to ratify this agreement. Mr. Speaker, indeed, we all know the genesis of this very important agreement. Mr. Speaker, my minister, being a listening minister at a point, requested of me to withdraw this statement on his behalf, this agreement on his behalf, because many Ghanaians were of the view that there was a need for further stakeholder engagement. And so he listened to the call, and very interestingly, the other side were also calling for more engagement. We did that, and as a result of that, Mr. Speaker, you realize that there be some enhancement in the agreement. For instance, Mr. Speaker, with reference to 7.2, where we talk about free carried interest. Ghana, we all know that our free carried interest is about 10% in other minerals. But in this particular one, it's been increased to 13%. And this for me is good. It's going to inure to the benefit of this country. Mr. Speaker, the other important point that I want to mention is 7.7, where the issue of community development fund is also made, as part of this agreement. Mr. Speaker, with your permission, let me read. Clause 3 of Schedule 2 to the mining lease agreement provides that the companies are set aside 1% of annual revenue for community development fund pursuant to a community development agreement. This is very important. Mr. Speaker, before this agreement, the arrangement was that companies such as Barari and other mining companies will be given the opportunity to describe or to come out with what they call corporate social responsibility. Mr. Speaker, corporate social responsibility at that point is determined by the companies. There are instances where they go to put up structures that do not really benefit the people. But here we are saying that this 1% will be set aside and the community will be involved in deciding what this money should be used. And I think that this is an achievement, this is a progress, given where we are coming from. And so I think that it is something we should applaud. Again, if you look at 7.10, Mr. Speaker, value addition, the president, other presidents before, and all of us here do believe that the way to go is to add value to our resources, not only just minerals, even our farm produce. And so this is the time for us to start it with the lithium. And so we are saying that going forward, this lithium agreement is saying that there will be some value addition to whatever lithium that will be mined. And I think it's very important. This was captured even in the previous agreement that was laid, and we have carried it on. This is the reason why I think that withdrawing it and bringing more people to engage really helped us. Mr. Speaker, there's also a very important point I want to bring to your attention. If you look at 7.12, and with your permission, let me read. The committee noted that the lease agreement includes a strategic commitment for enhancing maritime and logistical infrastructure in the South Pond area. And I think that this is very important. Many companies go to sites in communities. And in some instances, it becomes a problem. They're even fighting with the community for infrastructure development. It is because we have not enshrined it. It's because we have not put it in the agreement. In this particular instance, it is in this agreement. So it becomes an obligation on the part of the company to put out some of these infrastructures when all other conditions are met. And I think that this is laudable. And so I want to commend the committee members and to call on this House once again to accept this report and to ratify this agreement, because I believe strongly that it will inure to the benefit of this economy. With this, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Abujinopo.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the discussion on this very important report. Mr. Speaker, at the outset, let me empathize with my immediate successor, who has spearheaded the conclusion of this agreement. Mr. Speaker, I say empathize because, with the greatest of respect and in all modesty, Mr. Speaker, I do appreciate the complexities, the difficulties and complications associated with this kind of negotiation. And Mr. Speaker, and if you want to appreciate the point I'm making, I was first before this House on the 16th of July, 2024, to make an attempt to elicit the approval of this House to get the imprimatur of this House of an agreement between these same parties. And by that, Mr. Speaker, I refer to the government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, and Barari DV Ghana Limited for the mining of lithium. Mr. Speaker, the same agreement. I have the agreement I presented to this House here with me, and I have perused this report and the terms of this report. Mr. Speaker, the terms of the agreement I brought before this House, by that, the agreement that Akufo-Addo government brought before this House, and the terms of this agreement are not fundamentally different. They are essentially the same. Mr. Speaker, I will resist the temptation to revisit the politics that was associated with the agreement which was presented before this House and which was essentially rejected. Mr. Speaker, I see the majority there is on his feet. I'll correct myself. It doesn't matter. I'll correct myself. There's no need. I'll correct myself.
Very well.
Mr. Speaker, I'll
Very
correct
well.
myself.
Let's hear you.
Mr. Speaker, the memorandum I laid before this House as the then Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, which memorandum did not see the light of day until the expiration of the 8th Parliament. Mr. Speaker, that is the record. The memorandum was laid. It was not referred. It was referred to a committee. The process was not concluded. But yes, that is not even my point.
So the fact that it was rejected by the House
should
be expunged from the record.
Expunge it, Mr. Speaker. But that is not my point. My point is not, Mr. Speaker, my point is not, I'm not engaged in the semantics of it. That is not the point. The point I'm making is that major stakeholders within the body politic of our country and on record, including our friends, the National Democratic Congress, formally and publicly rejected the agreement I laid before this House.
That one is a fact. And I have the statement which was issued by the National Democratic Congress. And what is the point I seek to make, Mr. Speaker? I've already said that the terms are not fundamentally different. And therefore, I conclude on that point to say that today is a happy day for me personally. And today should be a happy day for President Akufo-Addo. And that after all, Mr. Speaker, and that after all, the suggestion that was made in the run-up to the 2024 election, that President Akufo-Addo's government and the MPP government and my modest self, the then Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, has shortchanged the people of Ghana, and that we have done a bad deal, and that if you went to South America, they had better models, and therefore the agreement we entered into with Barare DV was a bad agreement. Mr. Speaker, on this 19th day of March 2026, the report which has been laid before this House and the agreement, my successor, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Kofi Amabua, is urging us to approve. It's a huge vindication of the noble work the Akufo-Addo government and our good selves did prior to the 2024 election. I want, Mr. Speaker, with the greatest respect, that should be captured by Hansard. Why do I say this, Mr. Speaker? Why do I say this? Take free carried interest. Mr. Speaker, take free carried interest. The agreement they brought here, the free carried interest is 13%. 13%. The free carried interest the Akufo-Addo government negotiated was 13%. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, we went even a step further. We went a step further to insist that the Minerals Income Investment Fund will necessarily acquire an additional 6%, which would have meant that the government of Ghana will be entitled to 19%. Mr. Speaker, not only that, we did not end there. We insisted that Atlantic Lithium will list on the Ghana Stock Exchange, and that a minimum of 40% would be owned by the Ghanaian people. And Mr. Speaker, I had the privilege of officially getting Atlantic Lithium to list on the Ghana Stock Exchange. And what the Ghanaian people would have gotten would have been 40%, and that would have meant this whole operation will be truly an indigenous Ghanaian operation. That was the agreement we negotiated. That was the agreement. Mr. Speaker, we went a step further, that the community, the community will be entitled to 1% community development fund. Mr. Speaker, I see this agreement talks about 13%, and I will refer the House, Mr. Speaker, to page 7 of the report. Page 7. And Mr. Speaker, there is a classic difference between what the Akufo-Addo government negotiated for and what is being presented to this House today. And what is the difference? And Mr. Speaker, with your permission, I quote paragraph 7.3, titled Interest of Minerals Income Investment Fund in the project. It says, the committee noted that the Minerals Income Investment Fund, MIF, has taken an equity interest in the present company, in the parent company, Atlantic Lithium. However, MIF is yet to take an equity stake in the mining projects. The committee recommends that the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources
take steps to ensure that MIF takes the equity stake in the mining project as contemplated under the agreement. Mr. Speaker, in the case of the agreement we presented in this House, MIF's acquisition of the 6% in the project was a condition precedent for the project to take off. This particular arrangement is not a condition precedent, which is why the report says they urge the ministry to take steps. I would have thought that MIF taking equity in the project ought to be a condition precedent. Be that as it may, it's a good attempt, but it's not an attempt which is as good as what we presented before this House on 16 July 2024. Mr. Speaker, finally, Mr. Speaker, and I see the minister is engaged, but finally, Mr. Speaker, when it comes to the green minerals of the world, Mr. Speaker, when it comes to the green minerals of the world, Mr. Speaker, the most important aspect.
Honorable former Minister Holdy, yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there's a need for clarity in these matters. You spoke about the equity of MIF. My understanding is that the 6% interest equity, MIF is taking equity in Atlantic Lithium, okay? But that 6% interest is different from taking a stake in the mining project, the project itself. So, which one was a condition precedent? Because there's some misunderstanding there. So let us have some clarity exactly what you are talking about. Because you say that in your agreement, the 6% is a condition precedent. But that has been done already. MIF has taken the 6% already. Now there's a second phase of it, which is the project itself, which is what we are urging MIF to take an interest in the project.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that is exactly the point I'm seeking to make. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, we are more than happy from this side to assist our friends to pass this report, to assist my good friend and successor, the minister, to get on with this business, because the management and exploitation of the green minerals of the world is such a difficult task, complex one with far-reaching implications. And that is why I'm concluding on one final point, Mr. Speaker, which is that historically, all minerals in our country which have been exploited, we all across the aisle have come to a consensus that we have not gotten the full benefit of these minerals because of the lack of value addition, because these minerals are exported in their raw form, what the pandits would say, dig and shape. When my senior uncle, Honorable Collins Dada, was minister, it was the same. When I was minister, it was the same. They mine these minerals and they export them without adding value, which is why, Mr. Speaker, the point was made that in the case of these newly found critical minerals of the future, particularly lithium, we should make a clear effort of adding value
to the lithium resource of our country. The agreement I brought before this House, that agreement insisted clearly, not with discretion, it insisted in black and white that the lithium resources of our country cannot be exported in their raw form, and that they will have to be processed to the level of condensates before they can be exported. And therefore, the company was obligated to set up a refinery here in Ghana to refine the lithium they mine into condensate before they can export the mineral. In fact, Mr. Speaker, in Zimbabwe, the Zimbabweans have actually outrightly banned the export of lithium in its raw form. Mr. Speaker, and so that was the agreement we brought here, which is why I am sounding a word of caution. Mr. Speaker, I have looked through this 12-page report.
Honorable Minister, can you conclude for me?
Thank you, Mr.
Honorable Minister, you agree
Speaker,
I have given you a length of time.
Mr. Speaker, let me conclude. Mr. Speaker, let me conclude. Let me conclude, and the reason why I make this point just to enrich whatever outcome comes out of this discussion. Mr. Speaker, it's very important. Mr. Speaker, if you export the lithium in this raw form, you shortchange your country. And our friends from the other side, the NDC, they made this point very, very strongly, and even cited countries in South America where lithium and other green minerals are being exploited and the kind of arrangements which have been made. In fact, on one occasion, it was even suggested that the state itself should exploit these minerals and that private sector should not be involved, and that Ghana should find money to exploit these minerals, and if we do not have the money, we should not even mine the mineral, we should wait. Those were the arguments which were made. And I'm making the point that the agreement I brought here had a clause in there, a mandatory clause, that Barari DV will have to set up a refinery in Ghana and refine our lithium into condensate, value-added form of the lithium before it is exported. And indeed, they even presented a scoping report. They did research and did the modeling, the project modeling in setting up a refinery in Ghana, which will ensure that we add value to the lithium resource. I have looked at this 12-page report. That is missing, Mr. Speaker. That is troubling. That is disturbing. Every Ghanaian should be concerned. Civil society should be concerned. This House should be concerned. The majority should be concerned. So, Mr. Speaker, I conclude by saying that they say, the old people say that pray to the Almighty to live long and you shall see a lot. If we had ended on the 16th of July 2024, Mr. Speaker, we will not see this day, the 19th of March 2026. We will not see that this same agreement is being presented to this House with 13% free carried interest that we negotiated for 19%. We will not see, Mr. Speaker, that this agreement will be presented to this House without a provision of value addition. We will not see that the agreement that is being presented is fundamentally the same as what was opposed by our friends. On that note, Mr. Speaker, may they withdraw this report. They withdrew it. They laid it on 11 November 2025. They withdrew it again 10 December. They laid it again 19 December. It's still not too late. The lithium resources are so important to the Ghanaian people. We are opposed to this report. Find a way of refining it so that we can add value to the lithium resources of our country for the benefit of the Ghanaian people. That is what will help our country. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
But Minister, you just be concluding. Minister, you will be concluding. Yes, you will be concluding. So, Honorable Sanja Nanja.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the motion numbered on today's order paper, motion number 10. That this Honorable House adopt the report of the Committee on Lands and Natural Resources on the mining lease agreement between Government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, and Berari DV Ghana Limited for the mining of lithium and other minerals at Mankasim, 42.63 kilometers square in the Infanspim municipality of the Central Region. Mr. Speaker, today, one of the challenges that we are facing is with mining is environment, the protection of our environment. The committee was particularly about how the company will preserve our environment. And the Chief Executive Officer of the EPA assured us that even though the environmental permit that was granted to the company has expired, every process is being put in place, and a renewal of the environmental protection permit will soon be granted to the company. And also went further to assure the committee that the company shall ensure the agreement went further to assure us that the company shall ensure compensation of resources, conservation of resources, reclamation of land, and protection of our environment. Mr. Speaker, one other area that we looked at was job creation. And as at now, the company, if this agreement is rectified, is to employ over 1,000 youth in the catchment area for direct mining jobs. And indirect jobs are unquantifiable. Mr. Speaker, it's also to note that taxes, the company is not giving waivers or exemption from taxes. And all the taxes that is enshrined in our legislations and statutes will be paid to the government, and royalties will equally be paid according to the prescribed laws in today the sliding scale. As we speak today, the price of lithium, and then comparing with the sliding scale, royalties, government is going to earn a royalty of 10%. And as the lithium prices goes on to increase, as the lithium prices keep on increasing at the world market, it could rise up to 12% of the royalty. Mr. Speaker, on the job creation, the company, the chiefs, Mr. Speaker, the chiefs and people of the catchment area, opinion members, assembly members, youth groups, CVOs, and all identifiable groups in the area were invited to our meeting. And as you say that the chiefs and the people have fully given their support to this project, in the sense that they said this project, it comes to the area, their local economy is going to be boosted. And also, they are going to see massive development, social amenities, especially with the community development fund of annual 1%, which will accrue to the community $6 million a year. So, Mr. Speaker, given the support that the chiefs and the people from the area is giving to the project, the committee recommended that the House should rectify this agreement so that the economy can be boosted, youth in the place can get jobs to do. So, Mr. Speaker, with these few words, I call on the House to rectify the other side to join us rectify the agreement. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I take for granted the fact that this report made provision for environmental issues in the contract area. And indeed stated that the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, will be required to issue an environmental permit before any operations can take place. But, Mr. Speaker, in my view, the environmental provisions in the agreement are not adequate. Lithium production has significant negative footprint. The key environmental issues relate to water contamination, soil degradation and pollution, waste generation, even e-waste. The footprint is quite colossal wherever lithium is being produced. But environmental permit really, Mr. Speaker, does not address environmental mitigation, because the permit is issued before the operation starts. But during operations, when you have environmental disaster, how do you mitigate that? The agreement has to provide for it. In most jurisdictions, the polluter pay principle applies. But even with the polluter pay principle, it is important that financial guarantees are provided so that when there is an environmental disaster, the company does not give an excuse that they don't have sufficient resources to mitigate. And this is why, in addition to the polluter principle, financial guarantees have to be provided. Mr. Speaker, two ways of addressing this is to request the company to post an environmental bond so that in the event of such a disaster, the bond is liquidated to mitigate the effect of the disaster. The other way to do this is to set up an environmental mitigation fund so that a certain percentage of the revenue from the sale of the products will be put into the fund to be used to mitigate against any disaster when it occurs. Mr. Speaker, these are all absent in the agreement. And therefore, I side with my colleague that this report be withdrawn and these major environmental mitigation issues are addressed because that is very key, Mr. Speaker. If they are not addressed, then I will have a difficulty voting for this report. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, because of the environmental concerns, communities that will be affected are too exposed. But I see only 1% of annual revenue required to be put in a community development fund. 1% of annual revenues. This may not be enough if you match it against the enormous negative footprint lithium production could bring to our communities. And so I propose that we should increase it to 2%, if not even 3%, so that communities are properly compensated because of the effects they will have to contend with, because of the risk associated with lithium production. Speaker, if we cannot do this, we will be exposing the communities too much without preparing to provide the amenities that could help them cope with the footprint lithium production will bring on them. And so these two issues, Mr. Speaker, I think need to be looked at seriously. And therefore, if our friends on the other side will agree to take this report out, withdraw this report and address these issues and bring it, we will all be happy when they bring the report back with these modifications. We will all be happy to support this, and I believe Ghanaians will support it fully. And I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Yes, minority leadership.
Speaker, I rise to sum up the views of this side of the House, the minority caucus. Speaker, the report before us is in respect of the revised mining lease agreement between the government of the Republic of Ghana and the Barari DV Ghana Limited, a subsidiary of Atlantic Lithium Limited, granting rights for the mining of lithium and other associated minerals at Ewoya in the Mfanteman Municipality, Central Region, a region where I come from. The agreement is presented for ratification pursuant to Article 2681 of the 1992 Constitution. Speaker, let me state for the records that this side of the House, the minority, is ever ready at all times to support development of Ghana's lithium resources, since the development of these resources would amount to job creation, increased opportunities, and creates an economic hub in the central region, which reports has it that central region has a high level of poverty because of lack of jobs. Mr. Speaker, the project at Ewoya represents a historic opportunity for Ghana to underlining our reason for rejecting this report. Mr. Speaker, you may recall that in October 2023, the Nana Akufo-Addo administration negotiated and signed a mining lease with Barari DV Ghana Limited, securing, one, a royalty rate of 10%, elevated from the statutory floor of 5%, a free carried interest of 13% for the state, an additional 6% equity stake through the Minerals Income and Investment Fund, bringing total participation to a reported 19% and a requirement for local stock exchange listing. Our friends, then in opposition, vehemently rejected and blocked the ratification. They argued that the terms were insufficient, that agreement lapsed unratified at the dissolution of the 8th Parliament as a result. Upon assuming office in January 2025, Mr. Speaker, the NDC administration renegotiated this agreement. The product of that renegotiation is an agreement that at current market price yields a royalty of 5%, the same statutory floor that prevailed before MPP's negotiation, and at price of $2,250 per ton that prevailed when the original 10% was negotiated in 2023, will yield only 7% under the new sliding scale. Mr. Speaker, it is further on record that Barere DV Ghana Limited was prepared to proceed with the project under the original 10% fixed royalty. The minority invite this House to place that fact alongside the government's decision to grant concessions and to demand a full and frank explanation for that reversal. Mr. Speaker, first, we want to invite this House to look at the regulatory context. In this sense, we proceed to submit that the LI and the GSL amendment ought to be critically looked at. Mr. Speaker, in drawing the attention of the House to the regulatory sequence that immediately preceded this debate, as it is directly material to any vote on this mining lease. Mr. Speaker, the Minerals and Mining Royalty Regulation 2025, our colleague, the chair of subsidiary legislation, sounded the alarm bell, but our friends will not listen. On December 19, 2025, our respected colleague, a former deputy minority leader and now a minister of state responsible for this sector, laid the Minerals and Mining Royalty Regulation 2025 before Parliament, introducing a sliding scale royalty regime for gold, lithium, and other minerals. Mr. Speaker, for lithium and spodumene, the price band are 5%, that is up to 1,500 USD per ton. 7%, that is 1,501 to 2,500 per ton, and 10%, which is 2,501 to $3,000 per ton, and 12%, which is above 3,000 tons. Mr. Speaker, the legislative instrument matured into law on March 9, 2026, having completed the constitution required 21 sitting days without amendment. Our caucus, the minority, notes that at the time of the original MPP negotiation in 2023, the spodumene prices stood at approximately 2,250 per ton, yielding a 10% fixed royalty. Under the government's own new framework, the same price of 2,250 falls in the 7% band. In other words, the sliding scale delivers a lower royalty than the fixed rate that existed when the deal was first made, at precisely the price level used as a reference point for that deal. Mr. Speaker, this is not an improvement on an MPP steps. At any price below 2,500 per ton, it is a regression and we beg to submit. Mr. Speaker, our colleague, Honorable Patrick Yabuama, warned publicly on 10th March 2020 2026 that the royalty regulation could cost Ghana close to 1 million jobs by deterring mining investment. Those concerns were not resolved before the LI matured. Parliament now faces a request to ratify a mining lease governed by a regulatory instrument about which the minority's most fundamental concerns remain outstanding. Mr. Speaker, let me delve into the Growth and Sustainability Levy, the GSL Act 2026, as amended. Speaker, Parliament has passed the Growth and Sustainability Levy Amendment Act 2026, reducing the levy on mining companies from 3% to 1% of gross production. The government stated that the rationale was that GSL increase from 1 to 3% was originally introduced to compensate for the absence of the windfall tax mechanism, and that the new sliding scale royalty regime now performs that function. Mr. Speaker, we disagree. We urge this House to delay the third reading of that bill for further scrutiny because stakeholders were expressing concerns, especially our bilateral partners. However, this House proceeded over that objection. We, however, draw Parliament attention to the net effect. Whatever additional royalty revenue the sliding scale regime is projected to generate must be assessed against the revenue forgone through the GSL reduction. The government has not presented Parliament with a consolidated net revenue analysis, and Parliament cannot responsibly ratify this lease without understanding what Ghana is on the balance actually gaining. I repeat, we do not know what we are actually gaining, and we are being asked to ratify this. Mr. Speaker, we want to now turn to our concerns as a caucus regarding the revised terms. 1. The royalty structure and unverified financial assumptions. Mr. Speaker, it is our contention that government has accepted the Atlantic Lithium's claim that the sharp decline in global lithium prices of approximately 80% from 2022 to 2022-2023 peak renders the project unviable under a 10% fixed royalty, and that its post-tax internal rate of return has collapsed to 13.6%. The minority notes.
Minority Leader, Honorable Abednego. Is Abednego the member who turns his back towards the maze? Yes, so you can continue.
Speaker, the minority notes that the Natural Resource Governance Institute has modeled the project independently and found it economically viable even at $785 per ton of spodumene concentrate. Mr. Speaker, the company has not publicly disclosed the assumptions involved in its revised IRR estimate. Mr. Speaker, Parliament is being invited to ratify royalty concessions premised on financial projections that remain unverified and undisclosed. This is not a sound basis for the exercise of Parliament's ratification function under Article 268. Mr. Speaker, second, the transfer pricing and offtake risk. Mr. Speaker, the Piedmont Lithium holds approximately 22.5% equity in the Ewoya project and has entered an offtake agreement to purchase 50% of the project's production for its U.S. refining operations. Mr. Speaker, refineries outside of China routinely require below benchmark pricing to remain viable. If DV sells spodumene to Piedmont at below benchmark prices, Ghana's royalty base computed on mine revenues is correspondingly reduced. The minority is not satisfied that the revised agreement or the royalty regulations LI adequately addresses this risk through benchmark-based pricing requirement, benchmark-based pricing requirement or related party transaction protection. Mr. Speaker, it has to be emphasized that these concerns were raised when the LI came up for consideration, but our friends opposite ignored. Mr. Speaker, the third issue has to do with community impact. We acknowledge the genuine hardship endured by farming families and communities in the concession area, where a moratorium on farmlands has disrupted livelihood for over 2 years. Communities in Ewoya, Amanse, Nankesido, Anochi, Abonko, and Trafu have been patient and have waited long. Our side of the house is not indifferent to that reality. However, Mr. Speaker, we beg to submit that the Agency of Community Relief does not justify a structurally weak agreement. A 1% community development fund from gross revenue, while welcome, does not compensate for a royalty regime that at current prices delivers the statutory minimum. These communities deserve both a timely resolution and an agreement that maximizes the long-term royalty and development dividends available to them and to the Republic. Mr. Speaker, on the basis of all that I have submitted, on behalf of my colleagues, the following are our demands. Mr. Speaker, 1.
Yes, Minority Leader, just a minute. Honorable James Akaga.
You don't have your numbers. Don't cause any problem that would create further problem for you. You continue what you're doing. There's an agreement at leadership level, and you come back and will rise a point of order. Continue. You see the consequences.
See, Honorable
Continue. You see
Leader,
the consequences.
Honorable Minority Leader, I hold you in high esteem, but it's not everything that you should be placing into the hands of. Yes.
But Lord, the minority leader is intimidating me.
Let me hear you. Yes.
Speaker, the minority that holds the conscience of society and this democracy hereby submit the following for the consideration of this House. 1. Net revenue analysis. Mr. Speaker, we request that the minister table before any vote is taken a consolidated net revenue analysis comparing the projected state revenues and the NPP's original fixed 10% royalty against those under the revised sliding scale regime, net of the GSL reduction from 3 to 1%. Parliament cannot assess the value of this agreement in isolation from its companion legislative changes. I repeat, Parliament cannot assess the value of this agreement in isolation from its companion legislative changes. Second, Mr. Speaker, we demand a full disclosure of financial assumptions. The minority requests that the minister make available the full financial model and revised assumptions submitted by Atlantic Lithium and Barara DV Ghana Limited in support of its request for royalty concessions, including the basis for the claimed IRR of 13.6%. I expect the minister to take note and respond appropriately. Mr. Speaker, third, benchmark pricing protections. We've done a lot of research on this matter. You can't take it for granted. It's not mere politics we're doing. Take note. Mr. Speaker, the minority requests that the minister confirm whether the revised agreement includes benchmark-based pricing requirements for off-take sales to related parties, including Piedmont Lithium. If not, we want to see proposals for such provisions which should be made and submitted before this ratification. Mr. Speaker, fourth, transfer pricing and anti-avoidance. We also call for an explicit protection in the agreement against profit shifting through related party transactions, including limits on interest deductions and clear dividend distribution rules, consistent with the recommendations of the Natural Resource Governance Institute. You are already aware of their recommendation. They brought it to you. 5, non-dilution of state equity. Mr. Speaker, this is very critical and the minister must pay attention to this. The minority requests confirmation that the revised agreement includes a non-dilution clause, protecting the state equity stake from reduction through future capital costs or corporate restructuring. Mr. Speaker, a lot of times Ghana has suffered under this, where there's a way these investors dilute their shares under restructuring in one way or the other. We want to be sure that the minister has actually secured for us as a country a non-dilution clause that will protect our interests as a country. Mr. Speaker, 6th, Community Development Fund governance. Mr. Speaker, the minority also demands full details of the governance, disbursement structure, and the oversight mechanism for 1% Community Development Fund to ensure that host communities receive the promised benefits in a timely and accountable manner. Mr. Speaker, now we speak for the people. Most of the time, such investors, when they come, they abandon the community. We don't just want talks. It should be enshrined in the document that you want us to ratify today, so that the local people will benefit from this. Else, Mr. Speaker, if we sign this document, Parliament approves this today, that will be the end of the local people. If the majority is not looking at this, we on this side of the house stand with the people. Mr. Speaker, we also demand from our respected minister independent expert assessment. Mr. Speaker, we call on Parliament to invite from credible institutions, including NRGI and the Ghana Revenue Authority, an independent assessment of the revised terms and their long-term net revenue implication before this ratification. Mr. Speaker, with all of these said, we humbly conclude by saying that at any point that the ministry and its minister is able to come to the table for further engagement on these key concerns and ensure that the agreement factor these in, we, the minority, will be ready to support the ratification. Mr. Speaker, currently, however, we are not prepared at all to endorse this agreement, as same is premised on unverifiable financial assumptions, governed by a regulatory instrument rushed into law over the minority's initial objection, and structured in a manner that at the current and recent price levels deliver unacceptable royalty than the deal the same NDC rejected in opposition. Our country's lithium endowment is a generational asset. The terms on which it is leased will outlast this parliament, the 9th parliament, and we will define the revenue, employment, and the community development benefit that flow to Ghana for the duration of the mine's life. Parliament has a constitutional bona fide under Article 268 to scrutinize those terms with rigor, not to validate a legislative sequence that has been engineered to foreclose a debate. Mr. Speaker, we therefore call on this House, and in fact we insist on the disclosures and the protections outlined in our submission before a vote is taken. We owe that standard of care to the people of Ewoya, the people of Ghana, and above all, the integrity of this House and its parliamentary oversight. Mr. Speaker, I respectfully submit, therefore, that the agreement in its current form and shape is opposed, Mr. Speaker, and government must not wait on CSOs to come with their criticism before they do another U-turn. Mr. Speaker, all that said, I rest my case without more. Thank you very much.
Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, if my colleague, the Minority Leader, had served me a copy of what he just read, I would have also prepared a lengthy, statement to read. But, Mr. Speaker, I have not brought before me a written script. But I will speak extempo and respond to him appropriately. Mr. Speaker, let it be known that the former Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, my very good friend, Honorable Abu Jinapo, has said that there is no material difference between the agreement that he brought to this House and the agreement that we are considering today. That there is no material difference. That it is in essence the same agreement. No material difference. Mr. Speaker, I think it is important to know that
Honorable Majority Leader, yes, Honorable Abu Jinapo.
Mr. Speaker, most respectfully, for the record, I did not say what the Majority Leader is attributing to me.
What did you say?
Mr. Speaker, I did not.
What did you say?
Mr. Speaker, the Minority Leader, the Minority Leader should stop intimidating. The Minority Leader should stop intimidating his members. The Minority Leader should stop intimidating his members. Things that they said openly before the cameras just a few minutes ago, you are urging them to say something different. We're all in this chamber. When he did a comparison of the agreement that he brought as a minister and the agreement that is before us, and concluded that in essence there is no difference. So why did the NDC oppose it? He said, why did the NDC oppose it when in essence what he brought and what the NDC brought are the same.
In fact, he added he's been vindicated.
And then he said that he has been vindicated. So, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker is reminding reminding us of what was said. Okay, Mr. Speaker is responsible for the records of this House. Speaker is responsible for the records of this House. And so what has been said, he can remind us to straighten us. Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Oh, what's the problem?
Yes, Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, the Majority Leader has a duty to ensure the peace of this House. Today is the last day of the Ramadan, and tomorrow is Eid. I don't want the Majority Leader to lead any of us here into temptation. He knows the conditions behind him. He knows the conditions behind him. And if he knows his own condition, he should not attempt to bring trouble to this side of the House. We have told you that we are opposed to this. Don't now pick us out of context. And Mr. Speaker, you are the presiding officer. Mr. Speaker, don't be tempted by the Majority Leader. Mr. Speaker, make the cuckoo now. Don't. I beg you. If the Majority Leader can be brief, he should be brief.
Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
When the Minority Leader, before the cameras, pleads with you to be brief, you have to be brief. So I'll be very brief, which is to say, Mr. Speaker should put the question.
In fact, you have to conclude.
Mr. Speaker, I conclude.
Yes. Yes, Honorable Minister, would you want to give a concluding remark?
Speaker, thank you very much, and to thank members for the very valuable contributions. I've taken notes of all the contributions, especially the long speech by the Minority Leader. Madam Speaker, it's important that I point out key changes to this agreement. Indeed, there are provisions in this agreement that did not change, but there are fundamental changes that I must note. For example, in their old agreement on growth and sustainability levy, we now have flexibility. They had a fix. Huh? No, you said, oh, but why? But that's a changes. It is important. Oh, please, it's the same agreement. I'm not contradicting the leader, and I can't contradict my leader. I cannot. But it's important to point out that, for example, there's a new provision that says that the company shall pay to the government of Ghana all other fees, levies, and charges as provided under applicable laws. Under the old agreement, it was fixed at 1%. Here, there's flexibility to allow the government of Ghana to clock in anytime there's that opportunity. So that flexibility has been provided. Well, Speaker, in terms of royalty, as we all know, we had a fixed royalty of 10%.
Honorable Minister, I'll urge upon you to also make it brief.
Oh, I'm making it brief. But it's important that I point out that this new agreement has really made critical provisions that are important, and we must point them out. There was a lot of noise made about the fact that royalty was reduced to 5%. Today, I'm proud to say that at the current rate, the royalty will be 12% and not a 10% fixed rate, because of the sliding scale that has been approved by the House.
Yes, Minority Leader.
Oh, please. I'll draw the noise.
Yes, the noise is withdrawn. Yes. Yes, it's withdrawn. Yes. Yes. So
I did. Honorable Speaker, something very important that I must also add is a new addition. You know, we wanted to be sure that the communities and that this mining of lithium will not also come to add to the destruction of our roads. So a critical provision that has been inserted is that within 6 months from the ratification of this lease agreement, the company will undertake a feasibility study for the construction of a jetty, a barge, and a mini port system of appropriate size. And this is very important because we want to make sure that we don't focus on destroying our road. Honorable Speaker, I think that for the people of Awoya and other communities who have waited for almost 3 years, I think this is a very important day for them because there's a lot that will happen in this community when this project takes off. And I want to urge all our members to basically vote, defy your leadership, and support the majority. Defy failure marking. I will draw that, please. I'll draw that. Please join us in approving this agreement. I thank you.
Honorable members, I think we have concluded the debate. Yes, Minority Leader, after the conclusion of the debate, what else?
Speaker, with respect, just want to put on record that the entire 87 minority caucus of this House vote en bloc against this agreement, to the extent that, Mr. Speaker, the minister did not carry our concerns on board and insisting to carry the report in its present form and shape. We cannot be part of this. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, we vote en bloc in rejecting this. That is when, Mr. Speaker, you put the question. Mr. Speaker, we are signaling that when the question is put, this side of the House, all 87 are voting en bloc.
Minority Leader.
No, Mr. Speaker.
Minority Leader, you know, you cannot put something on nothing and expect it to stand.
I'm serving notice. I
didn't put the question.
Just so that as you put the question, you know that this is our position. So, Mr. Speaker, we want Hansa to capture saying,
very well,
so that when you put the question, we don't need to come back.
Very well.
So Hansa should capture
very well
that when the question is put for the ratification of this agreement, the 87 members of the minority caucus will vote en bloc, and we hereby vote en bloc against this agreement. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So, Minority Leader, what happened if part of the minority vote in favor or against the motion?
Mr. Speaker, I am saying that we are against it because the concerns we've expressed have not been addressed.
Very well.
That is all.
Very well. Honourable members, at the conclusion of the debate, I would put the question. As many as are in favor of the motion, say aye. Those against, say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Honourable members, let's proceed to take the consequential resolution numbered 11 at page 4 of today's order paper. Yes, Minister for Lands and Natural Resources.
I beg to move that resolution numbered 11 on page 4 of today's order paper be moved. I think.
All members, the minister has moved for the resolution. Any seconder?
I second the motion, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, the resolution has been moved and seconded. It is for the consideration of the House. This being a consequential resolution, I will put the question. The question is, as many as are in favor of the adoption of the resolution numbered 11 at page 4 of today's order paper, say aye. Those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The resolution is accordingly adopted. Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we were hoping that we will end the day at this point, but there's a matter that has been pending for a long time, the establishment of the committee for the purposes of auditing the report on the financial statement of the Office of the Auditor General. Motion number 18. Motion number 18. It's a very brief one. We can just take it. No. It's a brief one. Motion, the committee, just a committee. Just to establish a committee. There will be no debate. There will be no debate. Just the committee.
Honorable Jerry Ahmed.
You have members on it. You have members on it. No, this is a constitutional obligation.
You see, this is a committee which is already formed by both sides.
Speaker, let us always go by our words and have good faith in every transaction or engagement. I understand that it's just there are several other things. We just had to move a motion. We agreed.
Because the membership has already been agreed upon by the House.
On a good note. Tuesday, we come and take it. Lisa, it's just Tuesday, just that one. But if it is let it be no. No.
Mr. Speaker, please. Mr. Speaker, this is a very important motion. A motion that is to lead to the constitution, Jerry, please. That is to lead to the constitution of an ad hoc committee that will audit the accounts of the Auditor General, which is a constitutional imperative.
Honourable members, with all due respect, for me, this is a consequential matter because both sides of the House have already agreed on the membership of this committee made up of Honourable Kofi Bente Afu, Honourable Matthew Nyindam, and Honourable Rataisa. The House has already agreed. Both sides of the House has already agreed on this. So this is just a formality.
All this, we could have done it earlier. We could have agreed on same. Speaker, all of this...
But it's better late than never.
Speaker, well, so it is also better late than never to take the other motions by now. That was also consequential. Speaker, No, we didn't agree at conclave. I was at conclave. We never agreed. No. Let's stop this. We never agreed. Let's stop this. Let's be fair to ourselves. We never agreed at conclave. What is wrong if we are closing on this note and then coming on Tuesday, come back on Tuesday and take it? Why? What is wrong? Well, I'm raising, Speaker, respectfully, I'm raising quorum. I come. Yes, I'm going to do that.
Mr. Speaker,
let me hear you.
Mr. Speaker, this is the order paper for today. This is a business that is advertised to be taken today, and we agreed that at conclave that we'll take it. Jerry, this thing we have to stop. We had agreed. Yes, we had agreed.
this your insistence that a business that is being advertised to be taken today, you get up and say that you will take it. On what authority are you saying that a government business cannot be taken? So your government can say that business cannot be taken. Who will take it? Who will take it?
Yes, let me hear you. Honorable Jerry Ahmed, yes.
Respectfully, let me reiterate the point that at conclave we discussed issues to be dealt with today. This was not part of it. And I'm saying that in good faith, we have decided to do a lot of things on Tuesday. Speaker, this can be taken on Tuesday. The two major leaders can have an understanding. Speaker, I am not against this. I am not against accountability. My name is not mentioned in anything. I am dealing with good faith and goodwill. And that is all. And when I'm talking, my brother Rossi should understand, I also represent the caucus. So I talk based on what the caucus has agreed for me to come and deal with. So it has nothing to do with me personally.
You see,
so
when I'm looking at this particular business, I cannot describe this to be a government business. Because if the committee among the various caucuses have agreed on their own members to form a committee in order to do an act, however, that is supposed to be adopted by the House. To put a question to adopt it, I don't see any difficulty about it. Because both sides have submitted names and the names have been put together for the House to adopt. So this is not any business that will even be debated. Because this is consequent upon the two sides of the House agreeing that 3 people should go and perform an act. Honourable members, within a second we can take this. Motion number 18, Majority Leader.
Speaker,
yes.
Speaker, before the Majority Leader, respectfully. Speaker, if you insist, because I believe that it's a parliament of two sides. And I believe that consistently we should show good faith when we agree on matters.
But Jerry,
Speaker, if it is your, respectfully, Speaker, if it is your view, you want to go ahead. Speaker, that's fine.
But I agree with you that parliament is made up of two sides. Now, one side has produced a name and the other side has also produced a name. So the House will adopt whatever the two sides have done. The motion 18 is just agreeing on what the caucuses have already agreed upon to do a particular work. That is all. It's not that now that the caucuses are going to agree. They have already agreed and they put the names together already.
Mr. Speaker, my recollection is that yesterday you were going to take this motion, but both sides said they were tied. And I'm told that you said we should take it today because both sides were tied. So it's an agreement that you had yesterday. And the members on the committee drew my attention that this thing has been pending. And this is not government business. This is actually our business as a parliament. It's not even government business. And it's the responsibility of my colleague and I to make sure that this committee is established. And, you know, there's a very important name on the committee, Honorable Matthew Yindam. So if there's a committee and Honorable Matthew Yindam is a member, and you are seen opposing the establishment of the committee, it doesn't look good for your side. It doesn't look good for your side. Yes? Exactly. It's been there a long time. It's been there a long time. It's been there a long time. So why are you keeping Matthew waiting long time? Why are you keeping him waiting? So, Mr. Speaker, I move that we take motion number 18. I so move.
All members, motion move. Any seconder?
Speaker, I rise to second the motion.
Honourable members, motion moved and seconded. It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, clearly this is not a motion that calls for a debate, because both sides of the House has already agreed on the composition of the committee. So I'll proceed to put the question. As many as are in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. And the motion numbered 18 at page 6 of today's order paper is adopted. Honourable members, having adopted the motion, it is to be placed on record that the following members are recommended for appointment: to audit and report the financial statement of the Office of the Auditor General for the year ending 31st December 2024. The members are 1. Honorable Kofi Bentel Afu, Chairman. 2. Honorable Matthew Nindam, Member. 3. Honorable Ata Isa.
Speaker, the proposal is that they return with the report within 30 days.
Very well. The committee is to work and report to the House within 30 days. Yes, Honorable
Speaker.
Yes.
It's 5:15, and we've done nearly 5 hours. Speaker, on that note, I move that in the absence of any further business, the House be adjourned until Tuesday midday. So moved, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Speaker, we are not opposed to the application, save that we are wishing to see the 189 battalion. Speaker, let me also take this opportunity to wish Dr. Mahmoud Baumia a happy Eid, and all Muslims in Ghana, especially those ones in the Futu, Damongo, Wejagbawi, Anyas Futu, all of them, we wish them Boku Central.
Jerry, we have already commented on the Eid Fitr statement. All members, motion moved and seconded. It is for the consideration of the House. All those in favor of the motion for adjournment say aye. Yes.
Speaker, I'm not arresting the motion, but a job I have is also to see to it that members visit their constituencies well prepared. Mr. Speaker, the chief whip of the majority caucus, he is supposed to be in charge of key welfare issues of members.
Honorable Minority Leader, with all due respect, I please don't state this into the record.
No, Mr. Speaker, I'm talking about common fund. No, Mr. Speaker, I'm talking about constituency issues. Statutory allocation. It's not about, Mr. Speaker, statutory allocations are very important. He is the chief whip. He's supposed to get the ministers to work in ensuring that members of parliament get what is required of them in their constituencies to do their work. We have a long holiday. MPs are going to face their constituents. And we have a chief whip who is sitting here, and he always comes and tells the ministers, do your job, do your job. Mr. Speaker, members have concerns, and you should know. You should know. They are supposed to get projects done in their constituencies. They are supposed to see to the welfare of their constituents. That's your responsibility. Nobody forced chief whip on you. You wanted to be chief whip. So wake up and do your job well. If you can't do your job, resign.
No minority leader. Honourable members, all those in favor of the motion for adjournment say aye.
Mr. Speaker.
Those against say no. The ayes have it. The House is accordingly adjourned till Tuesday, the 24th day of March 2026 by the business statement we agree at 10 o'clock. Majority leader, by the business statement we agreed on 10 o'clock.
No, we agreed on 10 o'clock. No, the reason is that we want to take the bills. Yes, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, yeah. Yes.
So the House is adjourned to 24th day of March 2026 at 10 o'clock in the forenoon.